Welcome, FamilyAffaires.com contributor Dr. Dan Gottlieb.
Well, thank you. Nice to be back, Roseanne.
It's great always to have you. Dr. Dan, I was recently reading one of your books, and there was a chapter that I was reading about mental turmoil. And there was a quote in the book that had to do with, it made reference to fertilizer. Do you remember the quote? Because
Sure.
I'd really like for you to explain it to our audience, because I think that so much of it resonated within me that everybody else would find it so helpful. What was the quote?
The quote was this: confusion is like fertilizer. It feels like crap, but nothing grows without it. Now, I know where you're going with this. Explain.
Do you want me to explain it?
No.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
yeah, I want to hear your take.
Okay. Well, my take on it is, when we're talking about confusion, we're talking about when we're feeling unsettled. We have confusion within ourselves, within our mind, with things that are going on. But in order to grow, you have to kind of weed through and get through that confusion and work your way through it. So similar, that fertilizer lets plants and nature and things exist and grow, the same way when we're going through some kind of mental turmoil or any kind of, really, it could be any turmoil in our life, you don't grow unless you go through those periods and you learn from them.
Exactly.
Did I get it right?
Yeah, you did.
Okay.
I mean, if you think you know what you're doing and you're still suffering,
Mm-hmm.
you're not going to change. You're going to continue suffering. If you think you got it figured out, but if you get confused, that's a hopeful sign that you're open. You're open to new experiences. I'm always happy when my patients say they feel confused. Of course, that makes them more confused when they see that their therapist is happy about their confusion. That's a different issue.
Right.
Yeah, we need confusion. We need to know that the old roadmap isn't working anymore. The way we've been doing things isn't working anymore. And these roadmaps get ingrained in us from childhood. So what do? We do it X way, and it doesn't work, so we do it X plus 2 way and X plus 3. But we never think of changing. I tell one of my patients, I said last week, I said, for 20 years, you've been going to a hardware store to look for lunch.
Right.
And you wonder why you're still hungry.
And what's the definition of insanity?
Right, right.
Doing something
So-
over and over and thinking you're going to get a different result.
Right, so,
That was wonderful. So I think the message to our audience is that we should embrace this confusion and this turmoil that we're going through, because it will lead to other things and lead to growth and knowledge.
I've got a poem in my office by Apollinaire. And I look at it every day, and I invite many of my patients to. It goes like this: come to the edge, he said. No, we might fall. Come to the edge, he said. No, we're too scared. Come to the edge, he said, and we came, and he pushed, and we flew. Unfortunately, we are both characters in that, and we have to be the one to push, to take that leap, that first step into the unknown. To do that, you've got to kind of release your grasp of the old stuff. Sounds easy.
But it can be done.
Can be done. Can be done.
Wonderful. Thank you, Dr. Dan.
A pleasure.